Pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for being here and watching on TV. Mayor's report. If you've been watching the weather, it sounds like we're going to get hit with snow again, so please be careful out there and please look out for our street crews. They need to get it cleaned as quick as they can, so keep that in mind when you're parking, and don't get mad if they put snow in front of your car. The only thing that I can, we are still looking for a pool manager for this season. Come to the city and get an application. You don't have to be a lifeguard, just we need somebody to basically manage the pools. So if anybody is interested, please come forward. We got to have a pool manager, so that's about all I really have. City Administrator.
Sure. Our sales tax deposit for this month was about $8,000 less than the same month last year, so that puts us at 2% below last year, year to date. There's a primacy fee on the current utility bill that is due February 15th. It is that annual state fee for each water connection. Residential billing will see a $5.28 fee, and commercial is $21. And that's just a pass-through, we pass that on to the state. Travis, our engineer, and I are working on the state revolving loan fund application. It's due March 1st, and that's for our wastewater bond project. And as soon as we get that submitted, we can simultaneously start working on the grant arm of that project. So those were the two funding mechanisms, but we have to file for the SRLF in order to be eligible for the grants. Travis is also working on proposals that he spoke about when he was here last for getting a company to do the boring around the building and getting a structural engineer to do a thorough study of the building. So that will be forthcoming. Last week, the bids were advertised for the amphitheater, restroom changes, and for the porch. Now remember, he emailed us the day after the last meeting with the recommendation to do the demo only on the porch and get it sealed up, not wanting to make any major decisions until we get the engineering structural study back. Thursday, well, weather permitting, I'll be attending the TAC and multimodal meeting in St. James. That multimodal is a new committee they formed. They're splitting off the regular road and bridge improvements from things like sidewalks and airports and trails. So what I will be lobbying for at that meeting is new sidewalk to connect to our new pedestrian bridge there over the Free Creek by Ford. Getting that to go further up the hill and connect to the park. New budget process begins. We just passed out forms and reports to the department heads on Friday for the upcoming 25-26 fiscal year. So that will be in full swing here. And let's see, I just came from the chamber reception. Just so you're aware, they're opening the downstairs area to the left of the license bureau for really two purposes. One is kind of like a pop-up office space for chamber members. So it's a set-up office where chamber members can use it if they need a professional environment to meet clientele or do interviews or anything of that nature. There's office space there for them to use. And the front part of that is open to the public. It's going to be kind of a self-serve with kiosks and things. And it's going to be focused not on tourism, but on the community, especially potential residents, potential businesses that might want to come to town. It's really aimed towards informing people about everything that our community offers, you know, the hospital, the schools, parks, and just different community services. So again, that's kind of an unmanned thing. They have kiosks and posters and things like that down there. And then I guess just a reminder to the public that the office is closed on Monday, the 17th, in observance of President's Day.
Thank you. Public Works.
The street department has been working on some stormwater issues. They replaced a storm drain at 11th and Schiller. They've installed a new culvert on R&B Drive. They've been patching a lot of potholes since the snow melted. They'll be hauling a load of glass to St. Louis tomorrow and picking up some cold mix on the return trip. We're expecting, as you guys said, expecting up to 5 more inches of snow Wednesday. So if people have off-street parking, if they can use it, that would really help the plow trucks out, give them extra room. So if that's something you can take advantage of, please do. The Parks Department has been working on picnic table repair and painting. They've been putting a new coat of paint on some of the trash cans. They've been working on a new entrance into the announcer's booth at the baseball field and taking down Christmas lights. The Water Department, we got the new tanks for the vac truck that we approved at the last meeting, a couple meetings ago. And the Water Department got those in and put those on in-house, so that saved us several $1,000s. So hats off to them and Todd for getting that done in-house, saving us some money. The gas department has been working on several repairs up north. They also had to install a bigger meter and a regulator for one of our industrial customers up there that added a significant volume of gas, so that's good. The electric department has been working on the street lights downtown. We had some issues. We think we've got all that straightened out now, and the preparations are finalized for the first section of Reserve Street to get that tie done. The generator is in. We need to pour some concrete to expand the existing pad when the weather allows. We're currently planning on doing some test holes just around the perimeter of the building, so that's another thing that I want to make sure. I don't want to pour some concrete and then we got to dig it right back up. So Travis is trying to figure out where we're going to have to do that. But it's here, so as soon as we can get concrete poured for that, and assuming it won't be on our way, we'll get that going. And the kind of related to the bond money, we've talked about getting a sewer camera as part of that bond, and I spoke to a few of you kind of off to the side about the possibility of, like, this year's budget, we had put some manhole lining and that sort of thing, pipelining in the sewer budget. We've talked about coming to you guys with a budget amendment to basically kind of scrap that project in favor of getting the camera earlier and waiting for the several years before we get the bond money, so that we can proactively have some of these jobs lined up when that bond money starts rolling in. We kind of checked into it. We don't have enough funds to purchase one of these at this time. I have spoke to the manufacturer of the one that we're happiest with so far, and they said that they would be willing to work with us on some kind of like 3-year financing, if that's an option that the board would be open to. I can do some more research on it, but I know we don't like to finance things if we don't have to, so I wanted to make sure that was even something you guys are open to. Basically, they've got some in-house financing that they could use along with the, I can't ever remember what that's called, the government state bid. There's a program for it, but I can't ever remember the name of the program. Anyway, they can use for that. But, I mean, nobody likes to finance anything, but for the little bit of money that we're talking in the grand scheme of things, for what this thing's gonna get us ahead of the game on the sewer project, I personally think it's a good idea. But I just wanted to make sure you all thought that that was something worth at least researching before I spent a lot of time and wasted a bunch of salesmen's time getting interest rates and financing options and things like that. So just curious your thoughts.
I think being proactive and identifying the problem spots is better to know sooner rather than later. Depends on the financing.
What's the dollar amount that we would be looking at?
So the trailers, depending on which one we go with, anywhere from 200 to about 225,000 for one of these units. Now, when he talked about the 225,000, I think that included a software that we're not going to need. So I'm hoping that we're going to be closer to that 200,000. The other thing is they currently got a demo model that they'd be willing to sell us on state bid at a discount because it's a demo model. He said it would have the same warranty, it would have all the same things. It's just been taken around to other cities and shown off basically. But there's no guarantee. This kind of stuff always takes time. It may not still be there, so I don't want to get your hopes up too high on that. And I will do some phone calls and come back to you guys with some info on it.
So how much money do you have in the budget now?
If I remember correctly, we had like 150 there now. And that's kind of what we were looking at was if we, when he said the 225 number, I was thinking like basically 75 a year. And by that third year, we'll have that money from the bond going through. So the third year, we could use that to pay it off. The other option, of course, I mean, I don't know if borrowing interdepartmental, we've done that with some equipment for the street department in the past and made loans that are paid back. You know, that's an option. But we try not to do that if we don't absolutely have to. So
With this camera, would it be done in lieu of any other sewer linings?
yes,
For
so
the rest of this year?
this would basically, all the sewer lining and manhole lining that we had approved in this year's budget, we would scrap that. We've got a couple point repairs that I think are a must. We have to make those. But I don't foresee that we'd do any lining or manhole lining if we did this. This is kind of a stopgap to spend the next 3 years as we wait for this money, 2 years, whatever it ends up being. We can build this list of work to be done, because the way we've been doing it is, anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000 of work a year. And if we can set that up to where instead of doing $200,000 or $300,000 a year, we're doing $1 million a year, we're going to get a better return on our investment. Because every time they mobilize, that's money. And if we can give them, 10 blocks of work instead of 4 blocks of work, we're going to come out ahead on that. So that's kind of my opinion on it. But we're not going to know what needs done without the camera. And, there's already a couple things right now that we've been kind of putting off, going to get New Havens, if they'll let us use it again, which they've always been good about that in the past. But
Do we compensate New Haven at all for that?
I don't know the answer to that. You'd have to ask Vicki or Melissa maybe.
Okay.
Everybody,
What's the interest rate at the state?
So he didn't quote me on it, but he said he thought it was around 5%. So that wasn't him doing any phone calls and double checking. That was just him going off of me and him talking on the phone.
Do you think it'd be a 3-year deal?
That's kind of what we had talked about doing, just because we know that we'll have the money at that point, and whatever the interest rate is, it's going to be cheaper with this bond money. So, I mean, to me, that's the no-brainer way to go.
But this would help you with your infiltration issue as well.
Well, so this won't help with the issue, but it'll help us identify
Identify.
where the issues are. Correct. Yeah, and
You've probably been doing like the bare minimum.
we've
with
been,
what you-
basically doing enough to get by, or if we have a problem, versus having a program where we say, okay, we're gonna go out and do this much a year, and keep an eye on things. So, that's all I got on that. I'll get you guys some more information, and we'll go from there.
I would say go ahead and get the quotes in that, and then bring it back to us, and Also, we can look into the interdepartmental thing too, just to see if that's an option in the meantime.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. All right, we have no public comments. We'll move on to old business. Anybody have any old business? Any new business? If not, we will move on to ordinances.
All right, first we have bill number 2025-06 for second reading, an ordinance to adopt the City of Hermann Historic District guidelines proposed by the Landmarks Commission and to amend Hermann Municipal Code Section 420.460 to incorporate said guidelines.
This is second reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve bill number 2025-06, second read.
Motion's made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Next is bill number 2025-10, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 2414 regarding the budget for fiscal year 2024-2025.
So these are the amendments you're accustomed to seeing us do this twice a year. Here in February, we're just accounting for some things that have popped up unexpectedly. Tammy has little explanations on there for you. And then, of course, we do a kind of a larger number of them at the end of the fiscal year to kind of do some cleanup for the budget before the audit.
I have two questions. Why do we have the cost for the, like tornado and fire and storm warning siren that we have? Why is that in the police department?
That's just where we had budgeted it. It comes out of the general fund, of course.
Because the early warning system would be part of the emergency services, which police and fire are under the emergency services.
So the police department, it would be under there instead of the fire department.
Well, it's a kind of a combination. Because it's emergency services.
Yeah, tornadoes and,
Yeah.
yeah.
And under your wastewater, where you have transferred the $61,255 for the ARPA funds, you don't have an expense.
Yeah, Tammy told me you already asked her about that and that she explained it. Yeah. She'll look into it.
But it
I think
was,
there already is an expense. She just didn't need to amend it.
yeah, she said it was in the expenses already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I did.
Any other questions?
Interest rates have been very good.
Yes, that's, we got those negotiated amounts several months back and they're great.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve bill number 2025-10.
Motion has been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Yeah.
We need to read that the second
That would
time.
be
Thank
great.
you.
Bill number 2025-10 for second reading, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 2414 regarding the budget for fiscal year 2024-2025.
Do I have a motion to approve second reading?
Make motion, bill number 2025-10, second read.
Motion's made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Next is bill number 2025-11 for first reading, an ordinance to amend Hermann Municipal Code Section 420.810 regarding requirements for members of the Landmarks Commission.
This is what we discussed before. Do I have a
City
motion?
limits plus 5 miles, basically.
Yeah. Do we have a motion to approve that?
And do they have the copies with the majority of the
Yes.
the verbiage?
Yes. With the majority of the board living within city limits.
Right, right. That's why I said that's what we discussed before, so.
Make a motion, bill number 2025-11, approved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. We'll move on to resolutions.
The resolution for this evening is a resolution to describe facts and reasons for a necessary amendment to the city's budget for fiscal year 2024-2025. It always goes hand in hand with the budget amendment ordinance.
Right. I have a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll move to approve resolution number 1349.
The motion has been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Next is resolution number 1350, a resolution to authorize the filing of an application with the Missouri Department of Natural Resources Clean Water State Revolving Fund Program.
So that is what I was telling you about, that Travis and I are working on for that March 1st deadline. They just requires you all to approve, saying the city approves applying for it.
So is there a dollar amount that we need to put in this? Is there a dollar amount that you're applying for?
No, it didn't ask, this is verbatim off of what they, nearly verbatim off of what they suggested.
Okay. Go ahead.
We have to send in all the $15 million that you all had approved for the bonds. We have to send in copies of all of that election information as exhibits to our application.
Okay.
So on here, it says, I thought on page whatever, it says you're asking for the funding requested.
Oh, you're talking about the
I took-
application itself? Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have that filled out yet, but I'm sure it's gonna be that 15 million.
But you're not asking for the state revolving fund program for the 15 million.
I think this particular part, I think, was for the ballpark lift station. If I remember. This one, is it?
No. We're still working through the application, I'm sorry, I haven't looked at it in great detail yet, that's why it's blank.
I was just curious, I didn't see anything, and I was wondering what we were applying for.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
Motion to approve resolution 1350.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. We'll move on to motions. On our short list, we have a motion to approve our minutes from last meeting.
Motion to approve.
Motion has been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Invoices for payment. Do I have a motion to pay our bills?
I move to pay the bills.
Motion has been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. C, worst house outdoor seating renewal.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Wow, pretty quick. All right, we have the reports. So we need to go into closed session.
Do we have our ballpark grant, is that on hold, or is it still in the process for the lighting?
For the lighting?
Yeah.
No, we got that. You guys obviously approved it. We've got some engineering that we have to review from the company and send back. And then that'll get that manufacturing ball rolling. And then.
But the
we have-
funding hasn't been stopped or halted, right?
Not that we've heard, no.
Okay, I was just curious. We also want to, do we want to ratify the email that Corey sent out regarding the waiving of the fee for Tim Wright?
I'll move to approve.
Since it was the entire alley that we vacated, not just for Tim.
Right, it was all the way up. The alley that's not there.
You make the motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and
Waive it.
second. Do it.
To waive it?
To waive the $100.
Right.
Yeah. Motion made and second. All in favor, right?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, now, we'll move into closed session. Somebody want to read the
I make a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of dealing with matters relating to discussion related to negotiations for a contract pursuant to section 610-021-12 revised statutes of Missouri.
Motion has been made, do I have a second?
Second.
Vote by,
Aye.
Aye.
we are now in closed session. Thank you, folks. We'll take a few minutes.
I didn't get any real pushback from